Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and I'm here today to talk about the benefits of raw honey. Now, even honey that is no longer raw, that has been pasteurized, can still have a lot of benefits because it's still gonna keep the minerals, but you will be destroying some of the properties that gives it its many other benefits. So that's why keeping it raw is really important. So first, let me dive into at least some of the nutrients you're going to find in raw honey. Then we'll talk about the benefits and ways that I like to use raw honey. So the nutrients include calcium, magnesium, manganese. So those right there are minerals. So those are the things that you're going to keep even if you do heat your honey. Niacin, pantothenic acid, phosphorus, potassium, riboflavin, zinc, amino acids, and phytonutrients. So now the benefits. So it's anti-inflammatory, it's high in antioxidants and helps build the immune system. It's antibacterial, antifungal. It's great for topical wound healing. In fact, especially if you're using Manuka honey, that one is especially good, but even just any raw honey is going to be good for that. But I know Doug and Stacy did a video several years back on a cat. They had its throat ripped open by some kind of animal, and she started putting Manuka honey on there, and it just healed that right up. It can treat digestive issues, including diarrhea and ulcers. It has been in the past, and I found this information on the NIH, used to treat tuberculosis and asthma. So just so you know, I'm going to pause right here, that when I gather this information, I get this kind of information from several different websites, but also several different types of websites. So not just the natural based ones, but the medical based ones and even the .gov ones. So I'll link to that really great publication on the NIH in the description box down below, as well as one by Dr. Axe. Moving on, so a lot of people know it's really great for helping with sore throat and cough. This is why it's commonly and has been used for many, many years with lemon or even with a little bit of whiskey in the form of a hot toddy. And by the way, I have a hot toddy concentrate recipe that I will link to down below. And for me, it's something I take in just a little teeny tiny amount since it's a concentrate. Instead of consuming it as an alcoholic beverage, I take it more like you would a tincture. It's been proven to be good for cognitive health. And believe it or not, there's a lot of these that shocked me. For weight management and controlling diabetes. And yes, I found that information also on the NIH. So that one really surprised me. You're not going to just sit around and eat a gallon of it and expect to be, free of diabetes, but it's using it in place of sugar in its raw form can actually help you manage and prevent getting diabetes. It is really great for pollen allergies. It can help you basically build up resistance against it. And so this is why it's important in that case that you're getting as a local of a honey as you can. So especially if you're keeping your own bees, that's as local as it can get. Or with somebody who's keeping bees in your own town, the closer it is to you in proximity from where the honey was created, the better it's going to be at helping you with your pollen allergies. It's great for energy. And I did mention diabetes already, but one of the things is it does help reduce the risk, but it can also help the medicine you're taking for your diabetes work better. And it actually does lower the blood glucose levels and increase insulin or insulin production within your own body. It's very good for just overall skin health. Like some people will use it in the form of facials, but also for things like eczema and acne. Great for helping to treat urinary tract infections. For your hair health, some people will make like a hair mask out of it or add it to their shampoos and conditioners. It can help promote good sleep, improve circulation, lower cholesterol, treat eye diseases, and is anti-cancer. Very exciting stuff there. In fact, I knew that raw honey had a lot of benefits, but until I started looking deeper into this, I had no idea how many things it was great for. So this is just another reason why I get so frustrated with this anti-sugar thing. Not all sugars are bad. Obviously, we know processed white sugar is bad and we should be avoiding that as much as possible, but there are sugars like honey that are healthy. But just like anything else, moderation matters. So just like you wouldn't sit around and eat nothing but horseradish, because though it's really, really good for you, if that's all you ate, it can become toxic, especially in its raw form. Same thing with raw honey. Now, the main thing people need to be concerned about when it comes to any warnings is giving raw honey to babies age 1 and under. Mostly it's infants that one has to be most concerned with because of the botulism that could possibly be present. Though an adult body can handle that, an infant's body just cannot. And so there is a risk there. And so it's commonly noted that you shouldn't give raw honey to babies under the age of 1. Some people will say even older, but if you look at the standard, it is age 1 and down, no matter where you go. For my common uses, I did mention already the hot toddy mixture that I make it, and I call it a concentrate because that's how I make it and that's how I use it. But you could still add that to a tea if you don't want to just take a tiny bit, just straight. You can add that to a hot tea and then consume it that way. One of my other favorite things is to make a honey infused garlic, and you can see this one looks a little speckled, and that's because my most recent recipe, I've been adding my horseradish powder to it. Love it. So I've got hot pepper in here, I've got the horseradish powder, and I've got the raw honey. And I've been using the Azure Standard raw, this one, orange blossom honey, because it's runnier and it has just a lovely flavor. And it makes it easier to mix this up. And so I'm really crazy about this. So all the more reason if you're making a honey infused garlic, which I'll link to the old video I did where I'm using hot peppers. I'm not in that particular one. It was before I started dehydrating my horseradish and adding it to that, which I add a pretty good sized spoonful to this pint jar. And I love it. It just adds that extra boost to it, especially to help clear the sinuses. Anyway, I'll link to that video down below. But just another reason why I say when you're consuming your honey infused garlic, you should be taking a spoon and getting all the goodies in there. The reason this is so dark is because I add cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves to this as well, and ginger and cayenne pepper. And so, that's all going to be a matter of choice, of course. I might take up to a tablespoon of this at a time, making sure I'm getting the honey and all that goodness in there, instead of just picking the garlic out and eating it like a lot of people do. Now, yes, the garlic's going to have the honey in it, but I want to make sure I'm getting everything. And so I eat it with a spoon until the whole jar is gone, rather than picking it out and then having all this honey left over. Now, I know some people say they take their leftover honey and make some kind of sauce or dressing out of it, which is great, especially if you're keeping it raw. Another thing I like to use my raw honey in is making my elderberry spice syrup, and I keep it raw by not adding the honey until after the mixture gets down to room temperature. So I'll also link to that video in the description box down below. And then I've also used honey for making mead. So if you, even though I don't drink, I do make wines and meads because of their many uses, and often use them for making homemade medicinal extracts. So mead can be a healthier form of a wine, because it is a wine, it's just honey wine, than a wine that's made with juice and cane sugar. Though as long as that juice is raw, you can still get a lot of benefits from that. But the honey, when you're making a mead out of it, you're keeping it raw. And so that's at least one way to have something be healthier. And especially if you're using it to make extracts like I do, that's going to be an even healthier form. In fact, usually when I make extracts, I'm using homemade wine and honey mixed together in a 1-to-1 blend. And so I'm getting all those benefits in there. And so I have a video on making even just, it's not a medicinal extract, it's more a multivitamin extract. And I'll link to that video down below, but same thing there, using the wine and the raw honey to make that you're getting all these great benefits put together. And some of you know I've made the rosemary, fresh rosemary extract using homemade wine and raw honey, and it's so strong and powerful, and it's a great antiviral, so I'll use that. One thing though I'm going to start doing now that I'm pretty well set with honey, because not only do I have this, but I have a lot of Glory Bee honey I've stocked up on. I'm probably, any of the vinegars that I make for something I'm going to consume, whether it be just taking it straight to help with digestive health or whatever, instead of using the organic cane sugar, for those particular ones, I'm going to start using raw honey, so I'm getting the added benefits of the honey into the vinegar. And even for the vinegar I use on my hair to wash my hair with, using the honey to make that vinegar, there you go. I mean, it's good for your hair. So even though all the sugar is removed at the end of the process, you're still going to have all those great benefits and nutrients in that vinegar by using the raw honey instead of using the cane sugar. Even if it's organic cane sugar, which is still going to have minerals in it, using honey for that's going to be an even better option. So I'm probably going to start doing that, at least try that with some. I'm not going to do all my vinegars that way because they get too expensive, because getting raw honey, since we don't have bees at this time, is a lot more expensive than cane sugar. So it just depends on what I'm using it for. But anyway, I just was really excited to compile this information and share that with you. And please share with us down below in comments so people can learn from you as well. What is your favorite way to use honey, especially when it comes to medicinal purposes, for healing skin issues or just having healthier hair, or taking it internally to help with gut issues? What do you use it for that has really helped with you? Please share your testimonies down below. And if you want to share a recipe, that's fine too. And I'll be linking also to my full playlist where I break down different herbs and foods and their many benefits, along with the other videos I'll be putting down below. So don't forget to click on more or show more. Somewhere down here you'll find it below the video screen. Click on that. You'll open the description box to find all the links I'll be putting in there. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.